Our service owners, rise and shine. It's time to start fueling your success, one adventure at a time. Welcome to Outdoorsy Entrepreneur, brought to you by Big Tuna Websites, where business owners learn and explore ways to take charge and level up. Today we go behind the boots and talk with an outdoorsy business owner whom is blazing his own trail. Some key takeaways from today's episode will be how to bring in more social engagement around your own business and grinding to reach that rarefied air up there so there's good things will start to happen for you. I am your host, Kevin Fontaine. Join us on this journey every Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and listen to wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. My guest today, he loves the lawn care life. He's a social butterfly, and his page fans sting like a bee. The ladies call him the ultimate Maryland crab cake. He's the vanilla gorilla. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Ken Morris.
That's a nice welcoming.
What's going on, Ken, man?
Man, just out here living the dream, like we like to say.
Hell yeah. Hot as hell, man. Hot as Hades.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get it as bad as, whenever you talk about it getting hot, everybody from, Georgia and Florida chime in. But Maryland's a big mix, we'll get 100-degree days with a hell of a lot of humidity, so we get a nice mix of everything,
Yeah, hell yeah. You're close to the coast too, aren't you?
I'm like
A
about
little bit.
2.5 hours from the coast.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
very close to like northern Maryland, right near Pennsylvania. So I'm like a 15-minute drive to PA.
Hell yeah. No
So
doubt.
kind of in the country, I like to say. We're about 40 minutes north of Baltimore City.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, let the audience know a little bit about yourself, family, hobbies, any of that good stuff.
So my name's Ken, and if you probably know me online as Stripe Life.
You can feel it, dude.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does, why is it doing what it's doing. Get it out of my face.
I basically have just had a permanent part-time / full-time hustle of cutting grass on the side to defend my car and marketplace addiction like everyone else. And what started out as just kind of cutting a few neighbors, getting more serious. And then I went online, and like everybody else, I wanted to get some help. Hey, what blade should I use? What mower should I get? What's going to make my life easier? What's going to make me more money? And I
Yeah.
noticed that going into these groups and asking for help, it was a challenge, and people would, disrespect you. They'd talk down to you. You should know this stuff. And I was like, if I knew it, I wouldn't be asking it. And at the time, at my pawn shop, I do pawn and lawn, which will be the cover of my book one day. I told one of my coworkers, I said, you know what, man, like I'm going to make a Facebook group, and that's how it all started. I'm going to make a group. It's actually going to help people. It's going to be fun, and we're going to give back. And my coworker was my first ever follower. Flash forward, that was 2018. So you go forward 6+ years of hustling, and now we're pushing 500,000 total platform members. We've got
Wow.
a Canadian page. We've got a pretty good following. We've given away 3 trucks, multiple mowers, tons of stickers, and all sorts of stuff. And,
Yeah.
here we are today. So still the same guy out there cutting solo. I've had helpers in the past. That hasn't panned out, but
Right.
still cutting grass like everybody else and spending way too much time online,
Oh, yeah, that'll eat you up, won't it? How did you get
Yeah, for sure.
started in lawn care?
So I played baseball my whole life. So I've always had like an obsession with really nice stripes and lawn care. Back in like 2015, I think 2014 is when I really started cutting a few neighbors.
Uh-huh.
And then in 2016, I think I bought my first house, and it had 5 acres, and I literally built a wiffle ball stadium out back, 6-foot tall, dog ear fence. I had advertisement signs, Sitco signs, and I'd stripe it up. And then I started cutting even a couple more neighbors.
Yeah.
And taking it more serious. And that's about the time that I created the Facebook group in 2018. I said, man, like my business name is Stripe Life. Like it's all about the stripes. So really baseball kind of got me into it. And then, like I said before, just, feeding my car. I've had 43 vehicles. I'm 38 years old. So, if I did
Damn.
drugs, it would probably be cheaper. But I'm the type of guy, I don't know why. I feel like I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So if I see something, I'm going to buy it. And I don't have crazy money. I don't have family money. I don't have any. My money is from my back and my sweat. But if I see something,
Yeah.
like they say in the pawn business, you got buyers and lookers, and I'm a buyer. I'm not there to tire. I'm
Hell
not there to tire kick.
yeah.
I'm there to take her home.
No doubt. Fuck yeah, man. What about, do you keep a lot of cars or you
Yeah,
just
so I don't
sell them
I don't keep
eventually or?
stuff, like I'm not at that level where I got crazy money and have six things in a garage.
Right.
I usually have one or two things at a time and I trade out and when COVID hit, it was just wild. Like you could buy a car for MSRP, I could drive it for 3 or 4 months and sell it back to the same dealership for
Sell it.
5 grand. And then I just
Yeah,
kept
it was
swapping
crazy.
and trading, but I've had anywhere from a smart car, which is hard
Yeah,
to
it was
believe, to
crazy.
3 Ford Raptors. I've had a bunch of Shelby Mustangs. I'm a graduate of Ford Performance Racing School. I like to throw that out there. In
Nice.
Utah, that was super cool. One of the coolest
Cool.
things I've ever done. So
You just got back from, didn't you go to the track recently?
yeah, oh my gosh, man. So I work with this company, Cenex Power Tools. They are trying to make a name for themselves. So we're helping them. I
Yeah.
use their battery blower, which is amazing. And they said, "Hey,
Nice.
Ken, we'd love you to come out to this NASCAR race." And I've, neutral. Like I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I've just never done anything with it. And it was amazing, man. Like it was at
Uh,
the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard 400. And, we were going to have pit passes and all this stuff. And it ended up going crazy because we got to have dinner with the Richard Childress Racing Team and the driver who was Austin Dillon. And Austin has won the Daytona 500 before, so he's a big deal. And
he is.
my dad always told me never treat a famous person famous and never treat a hot woman like she's hot. And that's two things I live by. So you got this Daytona 500 winner across from me at this dinner table, and everybody expected it to be boring, but once I got all dialed up on Mountain Dew and Moscato, the word started to fly. And
Hell yeah.
long story short, I ended up challenging him to a pickleball game. And we played pickleball after he qualified. And saying I got my ass whooped would be an understatement.
No way, dude. He's good at pickleball.
So come to find out, he's a professional pickleball player with his own line of paddles. So I feel hustled, but live and learn. And
Yeah.
the loser has to get the winner's logo tattooed as a tramp stamp. So that's coming on August 13th. I've got an appointment.
Nice beaver.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately.
No way.
Yeah, so that's a sensitive subject, literally.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, luckily his logo's not that bad looking. So if you got to get a tramp stamp with a flair of tribal, that's probably one you'd look for.
That's dedication
So
to the game right
yeah.
there.
So, well, I think that's the only way we got him to go. Cause I mean, this guy literally qualified for the Brickyard 400 and left there to play me at pickleball. So he's pretty into it, to say the least.
God almighty. So that's cool as hell. So yeah. So mowers, you're into, what mower line you like now?
So I've been, I used Gravely to start when I really started getting serious, and Gravely was probably the first company online that really like started helping me with social media. And I owe a big thank you to the Gravely team. They kind of got me started, and they told me, hey, this is what you should do, and this is how you should do it, and we think you could really grow this platform. And then I needed a walk behind, so I bought a Skag SWZT, and I just honestly hated the controls. It cut great, it striped great, no doubt about it, great quality, but the pistol grips, it just like killed my upper body, and I was like, I
Yeah.
can't do this all day. And I tried out the Hustler Trim Star, and it was unreal. It was so easy to use. So I contacted Hustler. I slid in their DMs. I was like, hey, we need to talk because this thing's badass, and I can help you show this off. And I got in with Hustler. I was with them for 4 years, and I went to the expo for 3 years in a row with them, and did a lot of stuff with Hustler, and they were great to me. And then I tried the Ferris 3300 at the expo last year, and I'll tell you, man, it is just night and day different. And
Wow.
you know, I'm an active guy, even though I'm a big guy. Like I played sports, I played at the college level. I was, basically signed to go pro in baseball, and I ripped my shoulder off.
Yeah.
And I stayed pretty active. And I broke my back at 26, and now at 38, it's really catching up with me. Like I'm really having some issues. Like I threw it out sneezing with an Echo 9010T like a month ago. I hurt my shoulder again from pitching, tightening a bolt on an office chair the other day. Like I'm literally falling
Those
apart.
are those are dad vibes right there.
So I mean, things like full suspension on a sit-down 60-inch are not just, hey, oh yeah, I want to be a Ferris ambassador, or Ferris is paying me $1 million, which I wish. It's literally sit down on all these other 60-inch mowers. And you try them out for yourself. That's why the Equip Expo is so great in Kentucky every year, because before you
Right.
go spend 15, 20 grand on a mower, you can try them, and like take your truck, whatever brand your truck is, take that suspension out and rip it down a grass road, and then put in four-wheel drive suspension, and you tell me which one you want more. So in my
Right.
opinion, like the first mower I ever bought was a Ferris, and I just like slowly just kind of went away and tried other things and started doing other stuff. And it's always been the goal to get back with them. Like in my opinion, they've always been like the Cadillac of mowers with quality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I used the Hustler Hyperdrive for the last two
Mhm.
seasons prior, and that was, you're talking a $20,000 top of the line 60-inch. And I will tell you, and I will tell anybody that in my honest opinion, that the Hustler cuts better than any mower in the game. And I
Mhm.
still have a great rapport and respect for Hustler mowers. And the Hustler Hyperdrive was like I was dragging a Sharpie marker around. That thing would stripe and cut, no rubber flap, no anything,
Right.
just absolutely amazing. But it would go 17 miles per hour, and it would give you PTSD after every long yard. And when
Mhm.
you try the Ferris 3300, you're like, wow, like I'm tensing up waiting for those bumps, and I'm
Right.
getting ready to, like, get those holes and divots, and you don't feel them. And it's like at
Right.
the end of cutting a little 1 acre yard where you usually feel beat to hell, you're like, wow, this is
It's sweet.
amazing. I should have been doing this the whole time. So right now we're running Ferris's 60-inch 3300, and I'm running a 52-inch of their stand-on Z3X 52, and both of those have their Vanguard motors, which are new to me. I've been a Kawasaki guy, and
Mhm.
Ferris, their only stipulation was like, hey, you use these, you give people an honest review, whatever you think, but the only thing we need you to run these motors. And honestly, like I haven't had a single issue, and
Right.
they're very comparable to the Kawasaki. I mean, the thing is, you're going to have problems with anything, whether you buy a Ferrari or whether
Right.
you buy a Nissan truck, you're going to have issues. Every once in a while, one of us has to get the dud,
No
and that's
doubt.
just, it's unfortunate, but everything with
Yeah.
Ferris has been great. They've been treating me really well, and we
Yeah.
got to tour their facility in the winter. So, I consider myself very lucky these days and grateful of how well the Stripe Life platform has done for me and my family.
Yeah. Ferris, they were the first ones to come out with shocks, weren't they?
Yeah, so Ferris has the patent on shocks, so nobody else has shocks. Ferris was also the first, don't quote me, but I want to say like the hydro motor, or the hydros on a mower. They were the first one
Mm.
to use like the hydro and hydraulic kind of thing. I mean, Ferris is pretty sure sold in more countries, and in my opinion bigger than Skag.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. They grew like that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And so Stripe Life, you're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. How much time do you think you spend on your social media now?
I mean, I like to tell people that I got three full-time jobs. I work a few days a week at my friend's pawn shop still in Baltimore City. I have 2 days a week where I run my routes, and then I'm always literally either thinking or making videos or memes or or something. So
Hmm.
I don't even want to think about it. It's probably
Yeah.
not good, when you factor how much time. But I'll tell you, what started out with the goal to just kind of give back and be positive has not changed, and a lot of guys in this content making, I don't like to use the word influencer, but like content making kind of social personality
Hmm.
world, a lot of my friends are making crazy money, and I'm happy for them. But our biggest thing is, and what I'm most proud of, is how we give back. And we just gave away our third truck on the 4th of July. We give away classic trucks. It's all I can try to afford to get a couple companies to help me pay for. And,
No,
so
yeah.
we've done that 3 times. We've given away a couple mowers. We're always giving away something, a blower, a trimmer, something. And that's been the most fun out of anything, is
Yeah.
just giving back to the community and having fun, and continuing to make that our number one push.
Hell yeah, man. Because it's a fun life anyway, being out there on your own, out in the
Yeah.
outdoors. It's relaxing. It's nature.
It's fun till the summer hits, and then it's like fuck this job,
Yeah.
and is the only way to put it. But then September hits, and you're like, oh, okay, hey, this ain't too bad. And then October hits, and November, and you're like, oh, this is kind of enjoyable. But there's definitely a couple months where you're cursing up a storm out there.
And so, looking at all the fans you have on your pages, what's some of the main questions they ask about lawn care and the business itself, do you think?
So there's a lot of guys that will, sell you how tos and books and pamphlets and charge you to be in their Facebook groups and all sorts of stuff. And I like to try to maintain our page as free. Our group is free. Everything that I do and say is free. And most of the thing is like, how do you get more clients? Everybody wants to know how to get more clients. And for
Hmm.
me, it's like a nice Google page with reviews, a nice Facebook page with reviews and photos, and a good website can go the difference,
Yeah.
on getting people calling you and looking for you and not. A lot of guys who are well established will say, oh, word of mouth, word of mouth. Word of mouth is great, but not in your first year, or not in your
Right.
second year. When you're trying to just survive, you got to have these other things in place. So I used a website for the first time last year, and I worked with a company, and I was literally turning away 20 yards a week, in the beginning of the year. And all throughout the year I was booked out, and I was like, this is all I can do in these 2 days.
Yeah.
And this year I haven't used a website in the beginning of the year. I'm about to start working with another company on another site. But for me, I'm in a different place, like I've always been wanting to grow the
Yeah.
lawn and landscape actual side of things, but I have other things that consume my time right now. So I'm kind of
Right.
maxed out on what I can do, but I'm gonna start cranking my website again, because I have a couple buddies that I really push a lot of business to. And if I get a nice little landscaping job, I'll go quote it and sub it to them. But there's so many things, in my opinion, online that people can use for free. And if you pair that with a nice little website that maybe costs 50 to 100 bucks a month, that's a huge difference. And some people might be like, well, $75 a month for a website and a domain, that's a lot of money. It's like, take your family to Chipotle one day that month, and there's your website. And
Right.
that website's going to get you tons of business.
Mhm.
Definitely 5, 10x, on your one landscaping job, get you a 20x on
Yeah.
that investment for that month. So, but the biggest thing is always just, how do I get more work? How do I get more work? And, like my page is a big mix. I do a lot of memes, I do a lot of videos. My dad says I do a lot of complaining, like, hey, don't look like you want to be out there. I was like, well, sometimes I don't want to be out there. And
Well,
I've
yeah.
been battling stupid injuries the past couple years. Like I told you before, like I literally feel like I ripped my labrum in my shoulder all over again, tightening a bolt on a damn office chair the other day, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I think one thing with the youngsters out there, I need more business. One thing I would say to them as well is try to develop full service contracts that go year round, where you divide it by 12. So you
Yeah.
take a mowing package, a pruning package, a mulch package, squeeze them together, divide by 12, have them sign a 1 year agreement. And then that way you get that nice, year-round
And see,
fun.
like I 100% agree with that. And I get a lot of guys because I'm always peeping and watching from my group. You know, we'll get thousands of posts some months. We'll get tens of thousands of comments, and we have it moderated to keep it clean and professional and keep out all the spam. And I see that and I hear that a lot, and I'm really leaning towards that moving forward, especially with this like 5 week dry spell. Like this month should have been a 5 cut month for me in Maryland, which is a very good payday month on 2 days a week. And then it went to like half of that. We averaged 2 cuts the whole month because of, you know, the drought and how bad the weather is. And I'm not your guy that, and mostly because I have other sources of income. So if I don't cut your yard this week, I'm still eating because I have other businesses and I
Right.
have other revenue streams. But even if I was relying on that yard to eat, you can't just cut when it doesn't need cut. It can damage the yard, it can damage your name, and that's not the name of the game, you know?
Right.
So definitely when you factor in like this year is probably the worst year I've ever experienced in 10 plus years of doing this, where those packages would definitely come in handy, you know,
Yeah.
weed pooling and hedging and all that different stuff, and having a 12-month agreement would definitely come in handy. So a lot of guys talk about that. It's a little bit easier said than done in some parts of the country, especially say you have guys you've been cutting for 10 years and you know they're old heads stuck in their ways, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I'm going to do a 12-month plan for this, and they don't want to pay. Like if you don't cut, you don't get paid. And
Right.
you know, I have a lot of clients that are in hell 500,000 600,000. My average house I cut's probably a $600,000 house, and
Hmm.
those are some of the hardest people to get money from, you know.
Hmm.
I've cut trailer parks and houses out in trailer parks where the people would offer me sweet tea and they'd give me a tip and they'd round up, and they were the nicest people on earth. And I got $1 million houses where they tell me to drink out of the garden hose, you
Tight as a
know.
titty.
So it's you know, it's definitely a good business model, and you definitely get my vote for that. It's all on, can you get it? And you know, moving forward, I think on new clients, I'm going to try to do stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the ones that I've had for years, it's hard to just get anything from
Turn
them.
them
You know?
over. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've over the years it's a transition, right? So you're going to have a lot of people buck that system, but then as all the new people come on board, you hit them with this annual contract. And what we started to do was we put verbiage in there that says, "Hey, if we skip a mowing due to drought, severe rain, we're not crediting that back either. We're going to
Yeah.
focus on other parts of the yard, weeding, pruning, and hey, when it comes spring and fall, and we got extra mow to do because of rains or whatever, and the grass is growing like crazy, we're not going to charge you for that either."
Yeah, I
So it's
mean,
a
I just made
balance.
I had a meme the other day that was like a Ferrari Testarossa towing a Ferrari Testarossa, and the caption was, "When I start charging for double cutting, there will be signs." And you know, I double cut, triple cut even sometimes in spring with certain growth because that's my name on that yard. I'm going to
That's
not
right.
leave that yard until the diamonds are perfect, the stripes are perfect, and everything is how I would leave my own yard. And I don't charge extra for that. And like you said, there's times where you're double and triple cutting and you're not charging extra. There's times where you might not cut. So it definitely
Right.
does average out. I mean, my biggest piece of advice to anybody listening to this is to start now, start yesterday, start while you're young and everything doesn't hurt at the end of the day, and stay in shape. You know, like if I could have had this work ethic at 22, 23 years old that I have at 38, you know, I would be sitting pretty right now. I'd have a team of guys working for me and I'd be in Bermuda every day.
Hmm.
And that's the thing, like this business is not, you know, you don't need a master's degree, you don't need a college degree, you need hustle, and you
Hmm.
need the strength to get through hard times and to grind through difficulties as they come your way, especially as a solo guy. I broke my foot last year in January and it hurt so bad all year. I can't, not going to whine and complain about it, but when your foot hurts and every single step feels like you're stepping on a nail, that's a not only a physical war, it was a
Hmm.
mental war. And I mean, I had a lot of bad days last year, and you know,
Yeah.
I would get through them by making funny content, but that was a tough thing. And when you're a solo business owner, if you break your foot, if you get COVID, if you get your wisdom teeth removed, guess what? Those yards are getting cut tomorrow, whether you feel great or
Yeah.
whether you don't. So the sooner you
Yeah.
can get started, do it. And you won't regret it. Do it while your body's good. Learn from all these people online, learn from our mistakes, and just get started. It's the hardest thing. Just get a mower and get started.
Just do it. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So the GIE Expo, that's coming up again in October?
Yeah, so it's the third week of October every year. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. What makes this show so much fun is that it's 3 days long and it's like a car show. So you go inside, you got Ford, Chevy, Dodge. So just like that, you got Skag and Ferris and Hustler, and you can look at all these amazing new products and features on the mowers, talk to the people, but then you can go outside and everybody has a booth outside where you can get on that Ferris 3300, you can get on that Hustler Hyperdrive, you can try out like the Hustler Trimstar controls, and you can understand why I drop Skag in a heartbeat because of the controls. The Skag and the Ferris and all these other brands, their walk behinds Exmark, they all cut great, but the controls set that Hustler apart. And just like how on the sit down Ferris's, the suspension on that sit down is like nothing else. So
Right.
don't take, your favorite content maker's word for it. Try it. And then
Right.
this show is entitled or supposed to basically make you, entice you to go back home and now buy that from your dealer because you've tried it and you know for yourself that this is what you want. So
Yeah.
it is wild. And we always last year we gave away a 93 Ford F-150 with a ramp rack and all sorts of stuff on it, like 5 grand in extras on it to somebody. And whenever I do a giveaway, my giveaways are as free comes. I just had a 97 Chevy 4-wheel drive 2500 we gave away on the 4th of July. The guy
Sweet.
flew in from Baltimore. He flew in from Ohio to Baltimore. He drove it 8 hours home. There's no 1099s. There's no there's no anything. It's as free gets. I am doing this stuff for fun. I'm doing this stuff because it's awesome and I do it to give back. So when
Yeah.
we do giveaways, they are free. So we're going to be set up in the Ferris booth at that show for the 2 main days. We're going to be giving away 10 Yeti coolers, thousands of keychains and
Hell yeah.
stickers, 100% free. I can't confirm it yet, but I know we're giving away at least one, maybe two badass zero turns with Ferris, and
Damn.
I'm still trying and fighting like hell to figure out some way to give away our fourth truck at that expo. So we still got a fighting chance to find some other truck and put a bunch of thousands of dollars in it and let somebody win that there. So I'm still
How do
hoping to
people
do that.
enter? How did they enter for a truck giveaway?
So the expo truck, you basically had to come to the booth, and then I would literally rip you an old school
Oh, okay.
Staples ticket. Like you didn't have to really sign up for anything. I didn't take any of your info. It was, hey, are you going to be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock? Well, here. And I ripped the ticket and threw it in a hat. And the after the expo, I gave away a 93 Ford dump body for Christmas. On Christmas Day, I called the winner. Again, 100% free. So that one in the Chevy truck giveaway, I had Cujo, which is one of my sponsors that makes shoes and pants and
Yeah.
outdoor attire. They had like a very easy sign up. It was just name and email and you're entered.
Mhm.
So and those guys, like I said, it's free, man. Like you come, they're waiting for the catch. And I told him,
Yeah.
I said, look, if you're looking for something to get me, my size is Rolex, so whatever you want to get me.
Hell
But
yeah.
they're as free. We've given away 2 mowers. We've had 2 spring mower giveaway events, which had about 10 or 12 items in it, from $700 blowers to $4,000 commercial mowers. And again, every one of those winners is as free as they get.
And what's the Mama's House written on? Is that a
So we
shirt?
have a sticker, right? I don't know if you can
Sticker.
see it here.
Yeah.
So this is caution, this mower makes frequent stops at your mom's house.
That's an excellent truck
And
sticker right
I
there.
will tell you that that sticker, I gave away 2,500 of those stickers in the first few hours at the expo last year, and people were coming on day 2 hoping to get more. And it was just one of the funnest things there. Like people, a little kid would walk up, and I'd be like, here you go, take this. Don't show it to your mom though; it's offensive. And I'd be like, Hustler Turf does not approve of this.
Oh
and neither
yeah.
do I. It was so we're gonna have thousands of those for free
Yeah.
inside the Ferris booth at the expo. We're also gonna have thousands of keychains that we give away, again, free. You don't have to give me your info. You don't have to sign up. They're free, and we're gonna have maybe a dozen $300 Yeti coolers, to
Wow.
win and take home with you. So
Hell yeah, man. And, that's the beauty of social media. You have an idea, you're out there hustling, grinding, and you start broadcasting what you're doing. Sometimes it'll pick on other people's brains and be like, man, that's cool. Or that guy's doing shit I want to do. And
yeah,
it can really gain some traction because there's some other heavy influencers out there that started by just mowing lawns, like Dirt Monkey Dude, the SB Mowing, that
yeah.
lawn guy or that lawn dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
all those. So like Chase, that lawn dude.
Mhm.
I've talked to Chase for years. We worked together with Hustler for years. Chase, in my opinion, is the best guy in the business when it comes to making content and really doing lawn care.
Right.
Chase is the goat. Spencer with SB Mowing, one of the most humble dudes I've ever met. I mean, I joked he helped me with the giveaway last year, and I said, "Hey, this guy's got more followers than Taylor Swift," and he's got, I don't even know him, 20, 30 million followers total platform between that and his power washing. And for as big as
Right.
he is, Spencer and his brother talking to them at the expo and walking around with them and them helping me, and they were two of the most humble guys I've ever met. So definitely a ton of respect for him. Dirt Monkey, I got to shake his hand, was funny. Got a picture with him at the show. So that's
Yeah.
that's another thing about the expo is like, nobody's saying that these people, these content creators are movie stars, or that they're a better lawn care cutter than you or a better trimmer than you. But these guys spend a lot of time online and making content for you to watch, and whether you like them or not, you're watching them and you know their names. So when you go to this show, you see these people walking around like SB Mowing and Chase and Dirt Monkey, and you're like, holy crap, that's the guy I follow. That's the guy. So it's like getting to get your picture with them. And I'm a fanboy when I go out there too. I see Ballard and I see Dirt Monkey and I see Spencer, and hey, can I get my picture? So
Yeah.
that's the best part of the job is meeting all these people. That's why we give away so much stuff there, because
Yeah.
I love meeting all the people, and people coming up to us and wanting a picture, wanting a keychain, wanting to rock my logo. They live in a different country. They do whatever. And that's the thing. I don't care what mower brand you rock. We can all rock different stuff. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not as strong as like Ford versus Chevy when it comes to
Right.
mowers. Whatever dealers in your area, whatever you can use. I might tell you this is bigger, better, softer, but you might not have them within 200 miles of your house. But
Right.
just getting to see everybody out there, it's literally one of the coolest things on earth if you're in this industry.
Were you there in 2022 when the DeWalt fire mower happened?
DeWalt quality right there.
So 2022, I was set up inside that DeWalt Hustler booth, and we had our first big Yeti giveaway. We gave away 10 Yeti coolers, and it was all just kind of a wing thing. Like, we didn't plan it out. I didn't have a megaphone, and we had about 1,500 people in that booth on Thursday for that giveaway. And day one, it was like the first day they started letting people demo on day one on Wednesday, and Hustler and DeWalt gave this 45-minute spiel how this battery mower has the best batteries from DeWalt and the mower technology from Hustler, and this is going to be the greatest thing on earth. And it burned to the ground 40 minutes later.
Oh
So
God.
that was pretty wild.
Phew. That was horrific, man. Have they picked up from that? Are they still offering that mower?
So honestly, like,
Uh,
and what was crazy is before that year, in 2022, I had a Gravely mower that was electric that I got as part of like working with them as an ambassador. And I was like, hey, take this $36,000 battery mower and make some videos and it's yours. And I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. This is more than a car. And
mm-hmm.
I used it 2, 3 times, and I gave it back. I said, look, this thing, it doesn't perform. It conks out on a hill. It stops cutting an inch of wet
Wow.
grass. I said, I can't be an ambassador because it simply is not good. And
Right.
I gave it back to Gravely. I walked from that deal. And then I actually started talking to Mean Green, and I got a deal with Mean Green, and they're like, hey, make some content, and you can, we're going to hook you up with this, and you're going to be our first ever ambassador. And I was super honored to get that privilege because Mean Green was another great company. But the Mean Green mower was light years above and better than the Gravely technology. But it's still, the only way to describe it was like take a 52-inch sit down mower, and that's gas, and take that throttle to about 60%. And that's what it felt like it was cutting at. And the Mean Green, how it turned, how it steered, how it climbed hills was amazing, how it looked was badass, but it just didn't have that power to the deck, the suction. So it's like I'd have to stripe it 2 or 3 times to get the same pass. Or
Yeah.
if there was a couple leaves in your pass, it ain't mincing them up the first time. So
Right.
I told Mean Green, I said, look, I really greatly appreciate this, and I think yours is a lot better than everybody else's, but I don't think I'm ready to put my name on something like this.
No doubt.
And another thing, like I thought it would be cool to be showing this off before other people, but instead it just turned into like a negative, dirty political thing. Every time I made a video, I was a Joe Biden loving liberal Democrat, and I was like, like this is not. I'm not, and I don't want to portray myself like that. And I'm not stamping my name on this because it simply isn't better. If I tried them, and that thing cut better than the Hyperdrive, and it felt better than the Ferris, hey, put my name on it, call me whatever you want, but it wasn't the
Right.
case, unfortunately. So
Yeah, I think the EV market's still in that small handheld push mower
yeah,
market,
yeah.
where it'll still do good. The blowers, like you mentioned, you have those EV blowers.
Yeah, I got a Cenex blower that's got 810 CFMs and a
Yeah.
small handheld, and with the 4 amp hour batteries, and an 8 amp hour battery, I can do 5 to 6 cookie cutter yards, with a lot of edging and driveways, 5 to 6 on a battery. So, most of us, a lot of people like to brag, oh, I cut 5, I cut 10, I cut 35 solo in a day. And it's like, there's a lot of factors into how many yards you cut a day, how big they are, how much trimming they are, all this other stuff. So I learned early on that the whole bragging about how many yards you cut solo a day isn't a race I want to get into, but the average guy might cut 10 solo yards a day. You're not doing much more than that. So if you need 2 batteries to almost get you through that day, I still bust out my 90-10 if it's wet or if it's real high, or, if I got a couple next to each other. But on majority, probably 60-70% of the yards that I think most of us do on weekly maintenance, that Cenex blower with 810 CFMs ain't no joke.
Hell yeah, man. That's a lot of power for a battery.
Yeah, I feel
And
like I think Steel's 800 is only like 860 or something. I don't feel like it's that much more, and that's their top of the line. And even
top dog.
Cenex has some stuff in store at the expo. I mean, I don't want to get, shot late at night for giving out
Yeah.
private details, but I know they have a backpack battery one that's going to be 1,000+ CFMs. I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell you that, but
Yeah.
there's going to be some even cooler products at the show, and Cenex is brand new, so they're hitting the road running, and working out the kinks, and really putting some really high tech spec items out there, trying to compete with some of these other brands. And
Yeah.
they took me to that NASCAR race, and I'm having a lot. Then just their team is so much fun to work with. And that's the thing, like, people buy from people they like, whether this is you're selling the lawn care service or hedge trimming or a little tree job. If you go there and you talk to that person and you use basic sales techniques, oh man, this person's got a Ravens jersey on. Oh, what do you think of the Ravens these days? How do you
Yeah.
think they're going to do this year? You strike up a common ground. You make that person like you, because a quick tip, and if you listen to this podcast, I always like to end, is that if you sell yourself, selling whatever product is the easiest thing you'll ever do, because people simply buy from who they like. And if you're a likable person, they're going to buy from you, And if you have a good company and if you have a good product, and a good warranty. All that stuff's icing on the cake. But the big thing is,
Yeah.
and a lot of people forget, is sell yourself, and everything else is pretty easy.
How do you see Stripe Life in the next 5 or 10 years?
Hopefully a couple pounds lighter for the ladies, trying to trim up. You know, I just hope we keep growing. Our giveaways keep growing. I mean, we gave away the mowers, we gave away 293s. The Chevy was a 97, so we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah.
newer.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a 98, a 99. We keep moving forward. We keep getting our giveaways a little bit bigger. This one was a 4-wheel drive. It was a 2500. So the sky's the limit. The big thing is, I'm hoping to be a little bit lighter, a little bit less injury prone, and just continuing to have fun. And I hope that Stripe Life is a place people go to get a little motivation, to have a couple laughs, to win something, and just a place to realize that hey, no matter what we're grinding through, what we're battling through out there in the heat and in the rain and in the weather, that it ain't that bad. That
Yeah.
we're all in the same race together, and we can all learn from each other.
So yeah, how can people get a hold of you?
So if you type Stripe Life online, you're pretty much going to find us. We have a TikTok and Instagram page is the _ Stripe Life. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group, Stripe Life Lawn Care Group. We have a YouTube. So, I mean, really just anything Stripe Life. You'll also see my partner, Brandon, his Stripe Life Canada pages. We teamed up with the largest Canadian lawn care influencer. He changed his online presence handles to Stripe Life Canada. We collab with each other. We make content with each other. And together we are twice as big and have a lot more power with giveaways and making content to share. So anything Stripe Life or Stripe Life Canada, you can't go wrong online.
Hell no. That's great, man. And so like Ken said, just grind, work hard, stay dedicated, stay humble, and good things will happen. And always, think about ways you can level up your game. Going
Yeah.
on social media is a great avenue for us all. And put something in the comments, the ways you're grinding, way you're leveling up your game. We'd love to hear from you.
No, I mean that's the big thing. If you guys think about anything you do, if you're going anywhere, you're going to go online. So make sure your business is online. That's the biggest tip I can give you. Start with a free Google page, start with a Facebook page, try to get a website if you can and invest in that website. It's not that much money, but everywhere, if I'm going to a restaurant, if I'm going to a theme park, anywhere I go, I'm typing online if I'm looking for a mechanic. So the same way people are going to do for lawn care. So if your business isn't on lawn care, you're not setting yourself up to succeed, and you're not putting yourself in front of those next 25 guys. A lot of people like to say that lawn care is so saturated and there's so many chucks in a truck. Well, what are you doing to put yourself front of that line? And if you're not doing even these free things, right? At least the free things, your Google, your Facebook, your this, and then you're wondering why you're not growing, you're not getting calls, you're not getting business. What are you doing to get those calls? So make sure you're doing the right thing, and
Yeah.
giving your business a fighting chance against these
Right.
other people.
Right. Yeah, and it's not brain science, it's rocket science. I mean,
Yeah.
do some guerrilla marketing, door hangers, yard signs, all that shit works too.
Yeah. And the big thing as well is being sexy sells. Sex sells. So, wear some tight Cujos and have a nice shirt. Put a little gel in your hair, and you'll double, triple your lawns right there.
Hell, wear a thong out there when
Yeah.
it's hot.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, that wraps up this episode, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the Outdoorsy Entrepreneur YouTube channel and hit those notifications, and listen to wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. Big thanks to Ken Morris for joining us. Thanks so much, Ken.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
All aboard!